Greetings ladies and gentlefish, and welcome to another pair of subscriber replays, and once again it's a couple of light tanks, and well, I mean, honestly, if you guys send me light tank games, what have I got to show? Light tank games, so you've only got yourselves to blame. In this game we have got Baldric in his Panzer II Lux, and he is platooned up with a, well, platoon mate, funnily enough, in the shape of Edward Wright 95 in his M3 Lee. Now, Baldric has sent me a number of Panzer II Lux games over the months, years, whatever. And generally speaking, I don't tend to show them because Baldric is a good and experienced and seasoned player, and I try not to show too much effectively sort of seal clubbing, but you know, it's nice to see some low tier games sometimes. And well, there's a number of his different Lux games I could have shown, but I basically went for this one. You know, some of the games, and you know, we've all had them, some of those games you do well and it's a very competently played game, but they're not always the most exciting matches in the world. This one is a bit more, or gets a bit more dynamic than some. So, good news, Baldric's in the Lux. It's a tank that he enjoys, it's a tank he's very good at, so that's in his favour. Also good news, he's in a light tank on Malinovka, so yay. Bad news, it's a tier 6 match. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. But you can see here, immediately Baldric has taken up a spotting position in a bush. He has got binocular telescopes, looking at his view range while moving. Pretty sure he's also running optics on his Lux to hit the view range both ways, which, you know, makes some sense. And he's already up to over 1,000 assistance damage as he just spots things and people pew 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 them into oblivion. Now Baldric's just moving up ever so slightly. And yeah, on the move his view range is still very good, so I'm pretty sure he is running optics on this thing as well. So, spotting out lots and lots of bad guys for his team to shoot up. Although at the moment no one's really taking advantage of it. There are 2 artillery who could have a punt at a lot of these guys. And you may have noticed that Baldric is not firing the gun, he is not pulling the trigger. For those of you who are not aware, if you fire, then your camo value gets rather diminished. So generally speaking, if you are trying to passive spot, which is basically what Baldric's here by using bushes, you really don't want to be firing the gun as you do so. That is generally not going to end very well for you. Yay! I mean, it shouldn't come as a massive surprise, but it's still worth pointing out because the number of people I see do it and then just fire away at the first enemy who crops up and immediately get themselves deleted is, well, it's quite special. Anyway, that's almost 1,300 assistance damage. Now, remember that Baldric's tank here is only tier 4, so he's putting in a very good showing. And by the way, I apologise if you hear any noise in the background. Cats are currently going a little bit skits. So T40 is spotted, but he is not yet dead, hurrah. And we've got Matilda Black Prince over to the left hand side, KV1, KV1, Matilda T40 and T150 who were last spotted sort of vaguely in this area, although some of those guys are now going to be up on the hill. And hello Mr. Matilda Black Prince, and there's a T67. Okay, so Baldric is now spotted himself. This is going to be interesting. Yeah, as in he himself is now spotted, rather than he has seen himself. You know what I mean. Hello, Mr. Matilda. Matilda manages to put 1 shot into Baldric. Baldric has to be careful. That thing has a very fast firing gun. But Baldric is able to very much get the better of this engagement. Unloads a mag into the Matilda Black Prince for 151 damage. And people shoot the guy down to 28 health. Penetration on this gun is actually pretty good. I think it's about 90mm if memory serves. 95. Little autocannon, and that goes up to 110 with premium ammunition, although the increase in penetration isn't that much, I must admit. I would think, it's been a long time since I played the Lux, but I imagine most of the time you probably want to stick with the regular armor piercing ammo. So that is the Matilda Black Prince down, and now Baldric's just going to go hunting for some folks. We've got 2 artillery pieces. The FV304 was last spotted up in A6, so he's probably not down here. But the AMX-13, well, he might be in this vague vicinity, time will tell. And of course there's a bunch of other people who Baldric could spot out one way or the other. Nope, not over here. Okay, so that's a typical RT position. Checked. He's not there. Alright, let's see if he is over yonder. Is he over this side? Doesn't appear to be. Oh wait, there he is. Sneaky little blighter. Let's just execute him. Hurrah! And Baldric picks up his second kill with 220 damage into that artillery piece. Relocating. Matilda was last spotted, well, at B4, so he might be somewhere nearby. And Matilda's quite a slow tank, so it's possible, if he hasn't been particularly careful, that he hasn't moved that far. And Baldric can definitely hurt the Matilda. I mean, he took down a Matilda Black Prince, so he can definitely hurt the tier 4 variant. Ooh, hello Mr. KV1. Maybe let's not take on you. But let's get you spotted and see if the T-150 behind us can do something about you. That would be quite nice. Hopefully Baldric is no longer spotted himself, although that T-150 did go for a shot on him. If that had hit, that most likely would have been the end of Baldric's little journey here, little adventure in his looks. Hello Mr. Matilda, you are getting shot up. We'll take that lovely tasty assistance damage. Hello Mr. KV1, you don't appear to be looking in the right direction. And Baldric now pulls the trigger because he is, well, double bushed. So effectively he is able to fire the gun without himself getting spotted, which is always nice. Matilda gets taken down, there's some more assistance damage and some more assistance going into the KV1. And Baldric's up to now almost 2,000 assistance and 561 regular damage, which is nice. Moving across here, leaving that KV1 to his own fate, there's the ARL-44, T-150, and side of an ARL is quite weak. So even though this is an autocannon from fairly long range, you can still put 190 into that guy, as the armour on the side of the ARL is so pathetic. Now I should point out that whilst Baldric is going on this magical mystical journey, the rest of his team, they're not collapsing, certainly, but they're not exactly pushing the advantage very much. So this is not a foregone conclusion, the result of this one, and actually the enemy team just pick up 2 kills there, both of them tier 6 kills, and suddenly the enemy team is, within 1 kill of them, but, you know, Baldric's able to unload into that ARL and then the friendly artillery finishes him off. And that pulls the friendly team 2 kills ahead again. Lovely jubbly bubbly. Although the guy's getting shot, or Baldric's getting shot from behind, which is a little disconcerting. Hello FV304. How are you? So Baldric is moving down here to see if he can try and spot the KV1 and T-150 who were down here. There's the T-150. Again, Baldric trying to double bush it up so he won't get spotted for firing the trigger here. Unloads a magazine but only gets 27 damage into that T-150. Hopefully someone can kill this guy. There we go. One more shot from somebody should finish this fellow off. Side of the turret. Worth a go. Nope. No joy. Come on, the guy's only on like 20 health. Someone kill him. There he is. Oh, 54, sorry, not 20. And there we go. Artillery once again finishes him off. Now there's a KV1 over here somewhere. Well, there was a KV1 over here somewhere. I assume he's still here somewhere. And there's the KV1. Baldric has a bit of a punt. That's 60 damage into him. And that guy seems to be distracted. Oh no, he's turning his turret round. Baldric does want to be a bit careful here, using this little wooden shack as cover. Artillery unfortunately misses. Plenty of people are going for him. Oh, there's a shot from the KV1. Whew. Hetzer finishes him off, and Baldric is currently on 86 health. He wants to be a little bit careful. One more KV1 and an FV304 to go. So, just speeding this along a little bit until Baldric is able to get back into a position where he can spot some of these guys. There's the KV1. Boldrick needs to be a little careful here that he doesn't invite a shot himself. He has been spotted, but he can't just bomb it down that cliff face. He might accidentally kill himself. So he is taking the long way around. And the KV-1 actually takes out the friendly Churchill there. And so whilst 5 does play 2 here... Oh, there goes the KV-1. Okay, that's just the FV304. This should be a pretty secure game at this point then. FV304 is trying to kill Boldrick, entirely understandable, as otherwise Boldrick is, well, likely to kill him. Well, being Boldrick, being in a light tank, being in a Lux, you know, the list goes on. Come on, get him, get him! Can't have been too far away because the FV304 has a pretty darn short range and was still able to get shots towards Boldrick's location. But he's also quite a fast little blighter, so there he is, and Boldrick's going to take the time to aim, and pew, 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 pew. Ah, no! Guy's got 52 health left. Boldrick hasn't finished him off with that magazine. This could be slightly dodgy. But Boldrick is still alive, and I know from experience trying to hit anything on the move with an FV304 is taxing. There we go. There's the kill. There's the game. Nicely done. Let's have a look at the post-game stats. Here we go then. That was perhaps unsurprisingly an ace tanker for Boulders there in his looks, along with a spotter ribbon, bruiser, and fire for effect ribbons. To go with, perhaps unsurprisingly, a scout medal for spotting all the things, a patrol duty medal for his team shooting all of the things that he spotted, a Pascucci's medal for killing 2 artillery, and a medal you don't see very often, which is another reason I wanted to showcase this game, a Yoshio Tamada's medal. Destroy at least 2 enemy SPGs in a light tank in one battle. Well, that sounded like a Pascucci's, but you must also survive the battle. The destroyed enemy vehicles must be at least 1 tier higher than the player's tank. Yeah, so basically you get it for killing higher tier artillery and for surviving. And of course Boulders was able to take out the FV304 there, along with the AMX-13, both of which were a higher tier than Boldrick's tank. Came top of his team by, well, anything you care to mention. Remember, Boldrick was in a tier 4 tank in a tier 6 game. 1,321 damage done, 3 kills, 1,533 base experience, which for a tier 4 is a lot. Very nicely done indeed. 120 shots fired, remember it is a little pop-pop auto cannon. 84 hits, 44 penetrations for that damage count. 190 damage from more than 300 meters, 2 hits received. Still not dead. 12 enemy vehicles spotted, so that's all except 3 of them. 7 damaged, 3 destroyed, 2,389 assistance damage, and almost 6 kilometers travelled. And with a premium account, and again, just a regular tier 4 machine, that was basically a 44,000 credit profit. So a very, very nice little game there in the looks, and well done to Boldrick. We have got one more game to have a look at in this video. Our second game, as you can see, we are bumping up the tiers a little bit. We're up here at tier 9 instead of down there at tier 4. And we have got active current here in the AMX 1390. This being the French tier 9 light tank. So active is top tier here, which is nice. He is also, let's just make that minimap a little bit bigger. He is also here on Redshire, which is quite a nice map to be in your light tanks. Now, you may have noticed a slightly weird thing. If you compare the previous game in which we had Boldrick, and you have a look at the view range circle there, Boldrick was close, not too far off max view range in a tier 4. This is a tier 9, and it's not actually at max, oh sorry, not max view range, I guess max rendered range, my apologies. You notice the view range of the higher tier light tanks is not actually that impressive, which is a bit interesting, but anyway, never mind, let's not worry too much about that. So immediately Active decided to pop out, and he has taken up a fairly aggressive spotting, I don't want to say position, but he has been fairly aggressive with his spotting. Going for some damage here on the enemy tier 9 light tank, the T49. That guy is packing the howitzer. We don't really want to be shot by him, but putting some shots into him, that will do. If anyone hasn't played it by the way, the AMX 1390 is a pretty nice machine to use. It definitely feels like an upgrade over, well, that thing, the Batchat 12T. which is what you've got to work with at Tier 8. So I would definitely recommend the 1390 in its current state for anybody who is interested in light tanks, hasn't had an opportunity to play it. Well, there we go. That gets the T49 killed, which is a nice start. So that would be Active's counterpart on the enemy team, and of course that's a top tier tank dead, which is always nice. Should also point out that whilst Active is top tier here, this is not, strictly speaking, the best matchmaking he could get. As this is 5-10 matchmaking spread, it is not 3-5-7. So basically there are no tier 7s for Active to be absolutely murdering, as funny as that might be. So, Object 430 over there, there's a Foch over there as well. Come on, gun depression, don't fail us now. And Active is just trying to extend view range from this bush and see if he can spot anyone. Worth pointing out, if you have a look at the minimap, you can see the 1 and 2 lines from the friendly team's perspective are essentially barren and wasted. No one's gone there. Now Active does actually get spotted out here. He has to be a little bit careful. We don't know who else is back here, but, well, there's a Scorpion and even, you know, an IS-6. As anyone who's seen some of my replays in the 1390 can attest, the IS-6 can be a bit of a pain in the backside for a 1390 to deal with. And that gun hurts. The lack of penetration doesn't really matter. Come on, Active, can you kill this guy? Yes, there we go. Now be careful about that Progetto. You do not want to eat that 90mm gun. Auto reloader to the face would not be desirable. Apologies about that. Cat being a little bit vocal. Never mind. So, Active has just come over to the other side of this hill again here, looking to see if he can do anything to any of these guys. Tracks the Batchat in the process, doesn't manage to pick up the kill, but even so, does get the assistance damage and does effectively get the guy killed, or contribute to the guy being killed. And the scoreline is 5-2, 5-3, as the friendly Batchat 12T succumbs to the enemy artillery. 5-4, as the Object 430 nails the friendly E75. And this game is very much still close. Progetto 46 has fired at least one of his shells. Active is loaded, puts 2 into the Progetto, 3 and 4. Over 1,000 damage into that guy. Slightly high damage rolls, which is always nice. And I'll bet that's left that tier 8 medium tank feeling a little bit sorry for himself. And Active is just on the reload once again. See, this is quite a fun little tank. You can definitely do spotting in it, don't get me wrong, but you can also play it as an assassin, and the gun really is so much nicer than the gun on the tier 8. And the matchmaking, if we're going to be honest, isn't that much worse, so there is that. Gun is reloaded. Looks like Active is going to go for the assassination on the Progetto if he's able to get it. There's 1. There's 2. That guy was just asking for it, and 2 shells. Whoa! Would allow Active to take out the artillery, but he gets a little bit off-put by the presence of the ISU-152 over there. Entirely understandable. He's up to over 3,000 damage done, by the way, in case you hadn't been paying any attention. But does take a little bit of splash damage there from the artillery. Scoreline is 6-5, so despite the 3,000 damage and 2 kills from Active here in the first about 4.5 minutes of the match, his team, well, it's still pretty even. Imagine what the scoreline would be looking like if Active hadn't put out 3k damage and racked up those 2 kills. So, there's an IS-6 over here. Can Active do some damage to him? He has to be a little bit careful. The IS-6's armour is capable of withstanding the 200 odd penetration that you get from this gun with regular ammunition. So, IS-6, as it turns out, is going to be a little distracted. So, Active is just going around the side, but one shot goes in. Sorry, bounces, second goes in, third goes in, fourth goes in, and Active has to reload his magazine as he only has 4 rounds. IS-6 manages to flub his next shot, which is always nice, and Active has successfully managed to get out of dodge. Object 430 and the M4043 on the enemy team have also both succumbed, which is nice. So, Active is now reloaded. The friendly WZ-121 has gone for the IS-6. You'd think the WZ would have this, but he does appear to be making a little bit of a meal of it. They appear to be playing chasey chasey, catchy catchy, kissy kissy round a, which is basically what our cats are doing, yeah, round a piece of masonry, but as it is, the guy is able to nail the IS-6 in the end. Scoreline is now 10-6, and oh, hello, Mr. Artillery, how are you today? Still need to be careful about that ISU-152, 750 average damage with the armor piercing out of that gun. And Active has 621 hit points, so more likely than not, the ISU would be able to finish Active off. As it is, the IS is not even looking the right way. 1 shot in, and 2 shots in, and 3 shots in, and ooh, there's artillery. But Active is able to take him out with the last shot in his magazine, although he does eat 450 damage from the M53-55 there. Not optimal, but up to 4.7k damage done, and the ISU becomes kill number 3, so not the end of the world either. And Active's going to reload his magazine long before that M53 reloads his gun. Hello Mr. M53, how are you doing today? First shot unfortunately flubs, second shot does not, he's dead, and Active goes for the reload because both the enemy Super Pershings who remain have been spotted, they're nowhere near him, and why the hell not basically. So, loading in what is probably going to be Active's final magazine, or maybe he's already had his final magazine, we will see. And we're going to see if Active is able to do anything about this Super Pershing. Super Pershing is dug in. We've got a friendly Super Pershing who just succumbed to something that shouldn't surprise anyone. I mean, he was on low health. Object 704, rather stiffer competition, however, is coming in to do some damage to this guy. Active, oh, first shot flubs. Second shot finds its mark. Third shot finds its mark. Fourth shot flubs. Object puts in a big fat meaty one. I should probably check my wording before opening my mouth, but never mind. And the enemy Super Pershing is now a one-shot, and the AMX 5100 is able to finish him off, and that is the match. Nicely done. So, for the last time in this video, let's go and have a look at some post-game stats. There we go then, that was enough for Ace Tanker, Bruiser, Fighter, Fire for Effect, and a High Caliber medal there for Active Current. And of course the High Caliber medal also generated him a bond, which is nice. Finished at the top of his team, 5,323 damage done, 4 kills, 1,363 base experience earned. Shout out should also probably go to maybe the AMX 5100, who also put in a fairly respectable game. Commiserations to the enemy, Object 430, M53-55. They tried, but it wasn't quite enough in the end. 30 shots fired, 25 hits, 23 pens for that damage count, most of which was from fairly close range. 2 hits received, 2 penetrations, plus a bit of splash from artillery, and Active was going around within a hair's breadth of no longer being cognizant. 6 enemy vehicles spotted, 8 damaged, 4 destroyed, 1,230 assistance damage, you know, 5.3 basically kilometers travelled. And with a standard account, that was enough for a 17,000 credit profit. So, there we go. Another nice bit of light tanking for you in the 1390. Hope you guys enjoyed those 2 light tank games. If you did, by all means, feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel. And, of course, please do feel free to send me your own replays, which can be done through the Discord server. And I wish you the very best of happiness and enjoyment doing whatever it is you are currently spending your time doing, and I will hopefully catch you in another video. Ciao, ciao.